What we're talking about here are two reactors, two power plants, where they can no longer cool the radioactive substances there. They were affected by power cuts after the quake just yesterday. Now, the Tokyo Electric Power says that radioactive substances may, underline may, have seeped out from reactors at Fukushima. Fukushima is about 160 miles, about 250, 260 kilometers from Tokyo. Now, the coolant water had heated to about 100 degrees Celsius. As you just heard mentioned there, residents surrounding the area were evacuated. Initially, it was about a 3-kilometre safety zone, but Naoto Kan, the Prime Minister, extended that to 10 kilometres. Now, the Nuclear Safety Agency says that the radiation did not pose immediate threats. The supply, as I say, was shut down to these plants by the quake. It's affected about more than 1 million people here have been affected by power shortages as a result of that, because nuclear power reactors supply about a third of the electricity for Japan. So this is the situation at the moment. Of course, they're working to try to be able to cool those reactors, but the problem is at Fukushima, 2 reactors, and that radioactive substances may have seeped out at this point, not thought to pose a threat to people. Actually?
What are authorities advising residents to do right now?
Well, basically, they've moved people away from there. They've evacuated people, as I say, from a 10-kilometre radius. This, of course, is a highly sensitive situation. They're obviously very concerned about any impact of this. You may have heard cesium mentioned there. Now, that's a metallic chemical element. It's a soft silvery white, and it's considered to be highly reactive. There has been reports of that seeping out after a melting of a reactor. That, again, very, very cautious about exactly what is involved here. Now, cesium is used in many things. Nuclear medicine, for instance, it's used to help fight cancer. Now, the isotopes can enter the environment. They can get into water supply and so on, and can cause health problems. But at this stage, all of this is very premature. They are accepting that there is a problem at the power plants, a difficulty in cooling radioactive substances, and a potential that radioactive substances may have seeped out as they've released some of the steam, some of the pressure from those reactors. Angela?
The US is sending coolant to the area, I understand, Stan. Are authorities saying what happens if they can't cool the reactor down?
Well, I think they're not going there at the moment. They're working to. They're very sophisticated here, as you know. I mean, they rely on, as I say, nuclear energy for a third of their electricity supply. They're very used to being able to use this. They have some of the best scientists, the best safeguards in place to be able to use this. This was an extraordinary quake the other day, and cutting off the outside power supply has led to this problem in not being able to cool radioactive substances there. So at this stage, they're dealing precisely with this situation without trying to get too far ahead of themselves, obviously, and get into the whole area of speculation. They have taken precautions, as I say. They have moved people away from a 10-kilometre radius surrounding the area to make sure that they are working to be able to cool this. They've been in constant contact with the International Atomic Energy Agency, and of course relying on their auspices as well to be able to really be able to drill down and try to deal with this situation. I can also mention too, Angela, that the Prime Minister has toured a lot of the quake zone to date by helicopter, and describing it, of course, as a place of enormous devastation. He said that today is a day to think about the people and how to rescue people. He said to his cabinet that this is again a day of thinking about Japanese people and how they need to protect the people who've been affected by this quake, and obviously that also involves the people now surrounding these nuclear reactors.